episode on Roscast. Welcome here once again. If you are a returning listener, thank you. If you're a subscriber, thank you. If this is your first time listening to this podcast, being on this platform, please click the subscribe button. Your subscription is well needed. If you are a listener and you have not subscribed, why are you doing this to me? Just why? Why would you be listening and you did not subscribe? Please click the subscribe. Click it. You don't have to pay. Don't worry. Just click it. It is free. So if you're a listener, you're not subscribed, please just click that subscribe button. It will go a very long way for this platform. Thank you very much. Now, today's topic is original copy. If you're a Nigerian listening to this podcast, listen to me saying this. You know, there's a way we say something like this: original copy. Now, yes, this is the topic we are going to be sharing today. It's possible that there are going to be similar themes or previous topics that we highlight this topic as well, and that's important if you have been a listener on this platform. By now you know there are a lot of topics already shared on Roscast, and if you're a new listener you don't know, well, there are a lot of topics on Roscast. However, like I said, there are other topics that will highlight this topic, but this is still a unique topic on its own. So if you want to know what is going to make this topic unique, yes, you have to stay true and listen through. And with that being said, let's ride into today's topic. Now, if we try to define original, we can simply say that original is the authentic form of anything created. It's a created product from the scratch. It means that there was a design and there was an intention and then there was a creation, not from any other thing. Now, we can also use in this way to say that photocopy or fake is a replication of an original. So once there's a photocopy, it means that there's an original. Once there's a fake, it means there's an original. So original depicts an authentic form, an authentic state. It means that this is in its purest form. So we can just say original represents purest form. It means that this is it. This is the one. This is the model for any other copy that may come up. So whenever there's a fake, there's an original. Wherever there is a photocopy, there is an original. But am I coming here to tell you about original and fake and photocopy? Is that what this podcast topic is all about? Not necessarily, but as usual, as you know, we have to create a base first before going into today's topic. Now, as an artist, as someone who does abstract painting, my artworks are difficult to replicate. It's difficult to replicate my artwork because they were made to mainly be an original. Most of my artworks were not created with the aim of recopying them. However, there are certain times that some abstract works are made with a space, with an opportunity that they could be replicated. And hence, these designs often are not very complex designs, in a way that if another person desires to have that same design, it can be easily replicated. So that I often put a disclaimer that, see, my works are difficult to replicate, and if you want this exact work, you may not get the exact design as the original one, but you get something similar, or along the line you may actually have an original created for you. Not talking for myself, but talking for other artists that I've observed, what they may do in order to make an original replicated is by creating printout forms, and like I said, printout forms that other people can, if they want the same kind of design, can get. And then let me come back. As an artist, creating an original copy, when an original copy is going out, most often than not, there is a lot of affection to that copy because it cannot be replicated. Hence, when it's being given out, the price on this type of artworks are higher because you are getting an artwork that cannot be replicated. But let me talk as an upcoming artist who hasn't actually been on spotlight. Most of my abstract works are still very, very affordable, extremely affordable, extremely. However, it doesn't mean they are not still the importance that I have are on them are lower. No, it's just that for now, when you're upcoming, you can't hold on too tight to certain things. So I just want to say that if you want an artwork, yes, I'm available on Instagram at O.R.A product, O.R.A, then product. I'm available there. If you want, you could go check me on Instagram, see what I'm doing, and see if you're interested in any of them, and reach out to me. Now, why I'm saying this is that because of the hard work put into creating an original copy, especially a copy that is difficult to replicate, the value on these things are placed high, because you are having a copy that nobody else in the world has. And that is why abstract art seems to have more attention and seem to be actually one of the most prized artworks out there in current times. Because if it is a painting of somebody, a painting of another thing, somebody else can replicate it. A good painter can replicate it. But if it's a complex abstract art, it will actually need a highly complex artist that is a genius to replicate exactly. But I don't think I've seen such before, unless the artwork is an easy to replicate kind of art. Now, I just describe art to you because this is the most relatable thing I can tell you, and I can describe to explain or to define original. So I'm sure with all this my explanation about artworks, at least you get the concept of original. And even if you did before, thank you for listening to me describing artworks. Yes, I love art, and I'm grateful I have the opportunity to describe it for you. Yes, so an original is a purest form of anything. A photocopy or fake is a replication. Now, you should have known that already. This topic is actually talking about you and me. It's talking about real people, and that's why I just wanted to elaborate a lot already in the first part of this podcast topic. Now, there is nobody that is you. You are the only person that is you in this world, and I think it's a very big thing that we have not yet come to grasp. Let me not say we. I think a lot of us may have not yet come to really grasp the complexity of this state. Even twins are still unique. Even identical twins are still unique. They are not still the exact same persons. They may be similar, they may be identical, but they are still unique. They are still unique individuals. This expresses just the deep creativity of who God is. God, in his wisdom, creating human beings, made us to be so unique in our individuality that no two persons are the same in this world. Now, there are doppelgangers. That means people who look alike, even though they may not have any relationship whatsoever. For example, I'm a great example of that. I've met so many people who tell me I look exactly like someone that they know. In fact, at this point, I don't feel weirded out when I hear people telling me that. I don't feel embarrassed. I don't feel shocked. I just feel like, oh, another number. So I have met a lot of people who tell me I look like someone they know. However, I have no relationship whatsoever to these people that they talk about. I have no connection at all. So even in that state of having a doppelganger or having someone you look alike with, you are still unique. You are still different, and that is a very great complex thing. That's like an awesome thing to really grasp and understand, that you are the only person on this earth that is you. Even if you have similar, character, anything similar with another person, just you were made by God, and you are you. Now, without trying to dive deep into that, in relation to how much elaboration I gave in describing original art and photocopies of art, it means that you are original. You are an original copy, and you are an original copy, and you are an original copy. Your genetics, your chromosomes, the details about you, everything about you is original. You are original. I think that should really sink deep into each and every one of us, that we are original, and when God made us, He made us in our pure form. He didn't make us as copies of other people. He didn't make us as a fake of other people. He made us original, and that in itself is a very beautiful, complex state to understand and appreciate. With all this that I've said, isn't it still interesting to note that many of us try so hard to be somebody else? Many of us try so hard to copy other people. Now, I want to come in here to say that I am a big person on admiring people. I am a big person on emulating what is good. I'm a big person in respecting certain people, and if possible, if there's an opportunity, following them up and letting them affect our lives positively. I'm a big person on that, because we cannot grow if we don't have the right people that we can look up to and that we allow to be part of our lives by influencing it. Yes, by influencing our lives in a healthy way. I'm a big person on that. However, when we come to a point when we become discontent with who we were created to be, to the point of wanting to be another person, I think that is wrong, and I think that is a deter from what God intended when He was making each and every one of us. You see certain people, like when you watch some variety shows, you see people even going as far as changing their physique to look like certain people in an exact way. You see people mimicking other people in order to copy their style, the way they speak, the way they gesture, in the sense as though there is an inherent and deep flaw about who they are. Now, when we understand that we are the only ones that God made this way, it also lets us know that there is a responsibility that God has placed in our hands to cherish and appreciate the way He has made us, and therefore we do not need to want to copy another person, because, like I said, God did not make us as photocopies. He did not make us as a fake. He made us as an original. This is also for me to bring in here to say that, when people try to bleach their skin, when people try to, go under the knife, do surgery in order to look as like an exact way, as though the way they were made, something was flawed with it, then it actually shows a problem. Now, I'm going to be honest to come here to say that, does it mean that we would like every single part of our body? Does it mean that we're actually content with the exact way we were made? I will most likely say that no, not all of us. Okay, let me rephrase this. Most of us, probably while we were growing up, saw things in our body or did not get to really appreciate ourselves the way we are, because we felt that it was not good enough. And I remember always to tell myself that if I was given the opportunity to make myself or shape myself, I'll possibly give myself the perfect figure that I think would make me the confident person, that will make me admirable. But God in His wisdom knows why He made me the way I am. And therefore, if I get to a point of utter discontentment of who I am, I cannot live to appreciate who God has made me to be. Now, I'm bordering on physical characteristics because in our present time, it has become such a big thing that many people want to enhance and improve their physical features so badly that many of them go to extreme measures to do that. And like I said, if it means bleaching the skin, if it means going under the knife, if it means making people, if it means going to an extreme extent to remove who they are in order to take in an identity that is different or like somebody else, they would do it. Now, If there is a physical flaw that needs to be corrected, and this physical flaw is causing disability, and there's an opportunity to make it correct, yes, I think, because it's actually a limitation, then I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that, because working on it would mean that there will be a better outlook on life, there will be an enhancement of productivity. However, when in a case where there is no limitation of ability, I do believe that coming to a point of cherishing and appreciating and valuing who you are will go a long way in dealing with this. Now, this is an inherent problem when we become discontented with who we are, and it reflects that we have not really come to appreciate who God has made us to be. Now, I'm not talking as somebody that suddenly just arrived and appreciated who she is. For a very long time in my life, I felt there was something wrong with me at some point, and it had to take a lot to really reach where I am mentally, to really come to a point where I could look at myself in the mirror and I truly appreciate myself for who I am. And I would say that during those period of time, I had to allow the Lord to reveal to me that, girl, the way you have been created, the way you have been made is beautiful, and you need to appreciate it, you need to cherish it, you need to be grateful for it, and focus on other things that are more important. Now, what is more important? What is more important is the content of who you are, and not just your outer appearance. Not just only how you talk, but who you are inside. There are a lot of things that you may fake, but they won't last for long because you are faking them, and that is not who you are. When you are in the confines of your comfort, you get to express who you are. Now, being original means being true to who you are, and being true to who you are is a replication of what your mindset is. Now, your mindset is who you truly are, and is the reflection of your person, and I think that is what needs to be focused more on. Now, in Romans chapter 12 verse 1, it said that, verse 2, it said that be not conformed to the world, but be ye transformed by the renewal of your mind. Therefore, your mind is the most important place that should be focused on, and if there's any place of your life you should place more emphasis on, is how your mind is renewed. And as the word of God has said, by the word of God your mind is renewed, and also by appropriate source, by opening yourself to studying, by opening yourself to education. Education is very important, but I do know that not everybody gets transformed by education. But these are some of the ways that you get to really work on yourself, being open to correction, being open to working on character deficiencies that you have, being able to work on yourself and how you approach life and how you relate with people. All these things are work and they take time, but these are the things that matter more. Now, let me chip in this Bible passage, Isaiah chapter 45 verse 10. In this particular place, God was telling, was talking to Isaiah and describing the Israelites. However, we can actually also just use it in this place, saying that, can the clay tell the potter, why did you make me like this? He said that I have the right to make you the way I've made you, so why would you be asking me why am I like this? Now, to put it in context, why I'm actually stating this verse is that, for me, this particular verse was just a verse that brought me back on track, because like I said, I spent a very long time in my life really disliking certain things about myself, certain way that I looked, and feeling so embarrassed and ashamed, and feeling that I wish it could just be different, I wish it could just be better. But when I read this particular place, I just had to come to the point that, girl, you did not make yourself. God made you, and God knew best why He made you the way He made you. So you just have to appreciate and value it. Like I said, focusing on what matters the more, and what matters is the content within you. And I do believe that if most of us will focus on that instead, I do think maybe the world will be a better place. Am I thinking that the world will be a better place if people focused more on their inner content and on the workings of their mind and on their character? Now, in being an original and being true, it means that you are not pretending, you are not putting up a front of who you are not. Now, you know there are people that you relate with and they would never ever show you they will never ever show you who they truly are. They would always try to put up a facade, either because they want to be respected or they want to be liked. The motive is always not very, very pure or clean. In contrast to meeting people who are open, who are honest, it is easier to relate with this kind of people because they are not putting up a show and they are not trying to pretend. They're not trying to put up, a person that they are not. And I often usually say that I really prefer a person who honestly lets me know they don't like me. I don't know, I like saying this because it's something that I strongly believe in. If somebody is very open to say, girl, I don't like you, or lets me know that they are not feeling my vibe, or I prefer it because it helps me know how I can relate with them, in comparison to somebody who pretends that they tolerate me, they are cool with me, whereas inside they are burning, where they shouldn't be burning that way. I feel like it's unnecessary. And when we are relating with people and we are being ourselves, even if initially they may not be comfortable because we are that open or honest, with time they are going to appreciate it. If we realize, most of the times we end up appreciating honest people in the long run over people that are not, or over people that try to package themselves. Let me use that English that Nigerian slang, or the Nigerian way we say it, package themselves. People that package themselves and put themselves, they are also put together, whereas that is not who they really are. So even in relationships, even in interactions with people, in the long run, people appreciate honest people. People appreciate those who are being themselves over those who only try to put up a front of who they are not. Now, on packaging, let me go to this matter of packaging. The problem with packaging is that you always have to package. And the problem about packaging is that you are not being sincere, and therefore your inability to be sincere deprives you of the space to actually work on the aspect of yourself that is not true. Now, let me still chip in to say that, as much as what I've said, it's still left for you, the listener, to either pick or to choose. It's not like I'm imposing my thoughts on you. These are actually my thoughts, with the hope that as you listen to them, God would inspire you with them, and based on what affects you the more, it will also effect a change where needed. Some people package to the point that it will choke them, and when they are frustrated and tired, they will just bust up and let out, because that is not who they really are. Packaging also comes in form of trying to live a lifestyle that you cannot keep up with, and some people are so embarrassed about their upbringing, about their earning, about where they currently at, that they were willing to go the extra mile just to put up a front of who they are not. See, packaging over time will only burst, like they say, casala burst. I don't even know if that blends in here, but it's going to burst at some point because it is not being maintained by originality. When you package, one day it's going to burst open because it's not being maintained by originality. And when you are not being yourself, you cannot be comfortable. Somebody that is being themselves is actually being comfortable in who they are. Now, in this comfortability doesn't mean that you as in the person may not make mistake, the person may actually have to work on some things because, maybe they just have some flaws. But the thing is that because they are being honest with who they are, if they add the spice of humility, it means they are open for correction and they can get their correction and move on. But for you, let me not say you, for the person that is packaging and putting up a front of who they are not, it means they can't even give the people they cannot give anybody the opportunity to actually help them when necessary, because they've put up the front that everything is good and all right. Just like if somebody is broke and they keep on putting up the front that they are not broke, nobody can help, nobody can assist. So if you put up a front that everything is fine, you can't get the assistance that you need. Therefore, being authentic and being honest and being true to who you really are would even bring help when you need it the most. It will bring you help when you need the most. And also, like I said, even if people do not feel comfortable at first when you are being honest and true, in long term they are going to appreciate it because they know that you're actually comfortable and you're actually appreciative of who you are, and you are not trying so hard to be somebody else. Neither are you trying to be what is the word I'm looking for? Neither are you trying to be fake. I don't think that's exactly what I'm looking for. But you are not trying to put up a front of who you are not. You are just trying to be yourself. And in the process of trying to be yourself, you are open to corrections. And being open to correction means that you'll be a better version of the present person that you are while maintaining your original self. I think that came well together. I think you agree with me. Yes, but let me just say it. Honest people in the long term get appreciated because it means that they are comfortable to be themselves. Now, 2 Corinthians 10 verse 12, I'm going to be paraphrasing. Paul there was saying, we do not compare ourselves with ourselves, because those that compare themselves to themselves are not wise. Therefore, if you live your life comparing yourself to another person, then you are not being wise. If you find yourself sitting down and looking at yourself and look at somebody else and you completely feel deficient and you feel that life would be better if I was that person, this Bible verse is saying that you are not wise. Like I said, does it mean that you cannot admire or appreciate somebody else, or feel that okay, this person has this and I have, oh, this is nice? Well, no, there's nothing wrong with that. But the moment you begin to start feeling very deficient in yourself, very deficient in your attributes, very deficient from where you come from, or very deficient in the growth that you are making, then I think that there is a problem. See, let me be very honest with you. There are many times in this my journey that I feel very discouraged because I feel that, I should be doing better. I should be way ahead. Why am I not better? Why is this? Why is that? I just think it's a very human state to feel at some point deficient, but I do not think it should, determine our life's journey. Neither should it determine, how we decide to define ourselves, especially the negative way. It shouldn't. Just because we feel we do not have certain things, it shouldn't make us define ourselves in a certain way. And knowing that everyone is on a different growth journey, knowing that we do not have the same background, knowing that you did not make yourself, I did not make myself, should bring me to that balance point to just take a step back and be grateful for the things that I have or the place that I am, and be grateful that God made me. Yes, very importantly, that God made me. Be grateful that you are alive. Be grateful that you are here. Be grateful that you are still in this present time. That is very important. And that is why, let me just bring in to say that, Roscar, since 2020, since the pandemic, I have been very intentional in giving you a congratulatory note on every first podcast of every month, because yes, being alive is a big deal and it's something to be grateful for. It's something to be thankful for. And mind you, being alive is not very dependent on your physical attributes. Sometimes those that should have been are not. and it's on factors that no having control over was not there. Therefore, you do not compare yourself with others. The Bible says it's not wise. You may appreciate, you may admire, but please let that not define how you see yourself. Let that not define how you define yourself. Let that not define how you think you would go ahead. Let that not define your future. Your future is in the hands of God, and as He is the potter and you are the clay, let Him make it. Yes, God, make my future. Yes, let God make that future. So you are an original copy, and so am I. There are differences in each and every one of us, and I think that is why there is beauty in differences and diversity, and I think that makes the world more colorful. God knows the reason why He didn't give one person everything. And even though a lot of us try to go out of our way by force, by fire, it's another Nigerian slang, by force, by fire, we realize at the end of the day, because we have an inherent problem, a mind problem, an inherent inner problem, realize that no matter what we try to do to fix the external, as long as the internal is not fixed, we would not still be content, we would not still be happy with ourselves. And that's why focusing on yourself internally, your mind and the way you think, is very much more important than your outer, focusing so much on your outer attributes. Most of the times when you focus on your inner self, when you focus on your mind and the way you think, it transforms to outside. And if at a point you didn't like some part of your body, or you didn't feel you feel you are ugly, or you think you're not beautiful according to standards, or you are not handsome, or you are not manly, or you're not feminine enough, the moment you work on your inner, the way you think about yourself appropriately, you realize that externally it can reflect in the sense that you become more confident. It affects the way you relate with other people. It affects the way you are willing to express yourself. It reflects in the way you are willing to actually share the things that God has placed in your hands to share with the world, your gifts and your talent. And realize that with time, all those things do not matter as much anymore. So therefore, we need to focus, realize that, when we focus so much on certain things, it does not still solve the problem, and therefore the mind is much more important. I know everyone has some flaws. I do, like I already shared with you, and it's something that as we keep on placing in the hands of God who made us, God Himself who made us, He can, do better with us as well. Placing all those things in the hands of God. God, you are the one that made me. God, these are my insecurities. These are the things that I want, I feel I should be, or I feel this person is better than me. When you place all those things in the hands of God, He Himself knows how best to make it shape. I've never been to a potter house, neither have I seen, I really stayed through in a documentary to see how ceramics are made, but from the little glimpse I've taken and from reading the Bible, I know that sometimes some extras are taken while making a vessel. Sometimes some of those clumps can be combined with other clumps to make something that could either be a piece of could either be a decorative item, or could either be a piece that could be used to correct a broken ceramic. Therefore, these diversities as God has made us only makes the world more colorful. So yes, your presence in this world makes the world colorful, and therefore you don't need to be the photocopy of somebody else. And with that being said, that brings us to the end of today's episode on Roscast. If this podcast has blessed you in any way, please do not hesitate to share it with others. Do not hesitate to also like. And if you have not subscribed, please kindly do, as your subscription will help give this podcast platform a broader audience. That would be well appreciated. If you would want to give a feedback, a comment, or ask a question, do not hesitate to do that, either by using the voice message if you are using the voice message option, if you are using the platform, if you're using a Spotify account or podcast platform, don't hesitate to do that, or simply click the link attached to the podcast platform and choose the contact option. Send in your messages and I'm going to respond and reply to you. Do that. Let me hear what you have to say and I'll appreciate. Let us strike up a conversation. Or you can also use the question section on Spotify. There's an option like that. You can text in, respond to the question asked there, or simply send your feedback through that option as well. All of these are well welcomed. Now, this link attached to my podcast platform is also the place to access every other content that I share, and I have been sharing content. That spaces I've been sharing new books. Those are my email lists to have been part of my creative process. And if you also want to be part of that creative process, you can just join my email list. I get to share my creative process with you, and also check on my new books via my seller shop, my Goodreads account, or click the books. There are actually several spaces to check my books, both the ones that I have shared and the ones that I would share and the ones that I'm currently sharing. All of that are available via the link on this podcast platform. And with that being said, until next time on Rosecast, stay safe and God bless. Bye bye.